Royal Caribbean's Wonder of the Seas is truly an amazing ship, and I spent 2 weeks on board exploring everything there is, and today I've got a list of the things I loved and didn't love about Wonder of the Seas up next. Hey everyone, it's Matt from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, and I was lucky enough to sail on Wonder of the Seas' first 2 sailings, and I absolutely loved this ship. In fact, it's my new favorite Royal Caribbean ship, and a lot of people who watch our channel wanted to know what I thought about it, specifically what things really stood out to me. So today, I've got a list of things that I loved and didn't love about Wonder of the Seas. And, you know, when it comes to any Royal Caribbean ship, there's always pluses and minuses to every ship. No matter what, nothing's perfect. That's true of everything in life. But overall, I absolutely loved what Wonder had to offer. I thought it was truly a move up for the Oasis class. I felt the same way about Wonder as I did about Harmony when I first went on Harmony, because with Oasis and Allure of the Seas, when they first came out, they were wonderful ships, but they were mostly carbon copies of each other, right? But when Harmony of the Seas came out, it felt like Royal Caribbean took a lot of the lessons learned from the Quantum class and applied them to Harmony of the Seas, and it felt like a next-gen version of the Oasis class. That was a big deal, and it's why Harmony of the Seas was my favorite ship for a long time. Well, fast forward now to Wonder of the Seas, and I had a very similar feeling where it felt like, whereas Harmony and Symphony were essentially version 2 of the Oasis class, now with Wonder, we've got version 3, and it really stood out to me, and I really enjoyed a lot of the tweaks, additions, and changes that Royal Caribbean made. But at the heart of it, it's still an Oasis class ship. If you love any of the Oasis class ships, be it Harmony, Symphony, Allure, or Oasis, you're going to love Wonder of the Seas. There's no doubt about that. They have more in common with each other than not, but I appreciated a lot of the little tweaks that Royal Caribbean made. But today I wanted to list the things that really stood out to me, and we'll start off with the things that I absolutely loved about Wonder of the Seas, starting with the Mason jar, because this was my go-to spot. So when Royal Caribbean announced that there was going to be a Southern American cuisine restaurant, comfort food, I was like, hey, cool. I mean, I like trying new restaurants out, but it wasn't like something I was like, oh boy, super excited, because at the end of the day, when we're at home and we're going out for dinner somewhere, I don't think anyone has ever said, hey, let's go to a Southern food type restaurant. It's not in our wheelhouse, and that's probably because I'm not actually from the South originally. I grew up in the North, so there's that. That being said, I went on Wonder of the Seas to try out the new Mason Jar restaurant, and I didn't realize how much I needed Mason Jar in my life. I was blown away by how good the food was. What I also appreciated about the Mason Jar was that the menu is not specific to one region of the South. If you know about Southern food in the United States, the food really does differ depending on which region you're coming from. The food in Georgia versus Tennessee versus Texas versus Arkansas is completely different food. And there's a lot of specialties that come from each region. So Royal Caribbean decided, rather than focus on one region, let's pick out some of the best from all around. So you've got the barbecue that you might find in Texas. You've got the Nashville hot chicken from Tennessee, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I thought the menu was really good, and it had so many different choices that it really allowed anybody to find something that they would truly enjoy. In fact, the menu itself is so large and varied that it really made a big difference to me, because I love having more choices than I can possibly handle, as opposed to a very limited menu. On top of that, you also have the brunch menu, something that's brand new really to Royal Caribbean, except for, of course, Empress of the Seas did have a brunch, but we're going to sidestep that for a second. The idea of having a brunch option on any ship, especially here in 2022, is something you really can't find. And for a lot of families, this is a great choice because you have the choice, of course, of breakfast or lunch. Through the first third of the day, it's a real win, especially on sea days, and I absolutely love this idea. But as much as I love the food, I really love the Mason Jar bar. The bar area is attached to the other side of the restaurant, and they have live music there every evening, and the drinks, the live music, the ambiance, it really hit a home run for me, and I spent pretty much every evening here enjoying the live music, and the PB&J old-fashioned drinks are amazing. I'm never an old-fashioned kind of guy. It's never my go-to drink. I tried this on board, and these things are just magic. You have one, you don't even realize you finished it, and then you're 3 or 4 in, and it tastes amazing, and the little peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, oh, so good. The Mason Jar was definitely a home run. Number 2 on my list is the pool deck redesign. I really like the fact that Royal Caribbean redid the pool deck on Wonder of the Seas. So the pool deck has always been an area that, as families, we like to spend time on. But it's clear that Royal Caribbean decided to not just, give the pool deck a new look, like a new coat of paint or something like that. They really rethought the design of it. They moved Splashaway Bay. They added new seating areas. They added the movie screen. And all of that together, I thought really coalesced to create a much better pool deck experience. You can also add in the fact that on the solarium, it's totally enclosed now, and that makes it more weather resistant. So if it's really hot out, they've got some air conditioning. If it's really cool out, well, they can pump the heat in there. So it's a lot more comfortable to be in the solarium. And it's a lot more wide open. I love how they've developed the seating in there. You've got the quantum class pool in the solarium. So overall, I was very impressed by the pool deck. Now, I know a lot of people have been reporting about the movie screen on the pool deck and how it kind of bleeds into Central Park. I'd point out that the movie screen on every single Royal Caribbean ship is going to be loud during the daytime. And the fact you can hear sometimes the movie or whatever entertainment in your balcony in Central Park, well, you would still have heard, even on other Oasis-class ships, the live music. Sometimes the bands, the DJs up there would bleed down there too. So it's not like this is a new phenomenon. It's just something different that they're playing down there. But at the end of the day, when it's time to go to bed, there's no music or anything to keep you up. So I thought this was a big nothing. I thought this was, quite frankly, a little overblown. But I also wasn't staying in a Central Park balcony room, so maybe one day I'll try that out. In the name of research, I'll book another cruise and go down there and try it out. But it really didn't bother me at all, and I appreciated the fact that there was a movie screen on the pool deck, because before, they would only show movies in the Aqua Theater, which was completely useless. No one goes over there. Let's go make a special trip out to watch a movie from over there. Pool deck movies is where people want to watch the movies. So I thought that was a better choice overall. And again, I think the overall flow of the pool deck really stood out to me, and I like that quite a bit. Next on my list is the revamped Adventure Ocean. This is more that my kids appreciated it, and as a parent, I appreciated it because they actually wanted to go. Now, this is not the first Royal Caribbean ship to get a new look to Adventure Ocean. In fact, other Royal Caribbean ships, including Odyssey of the Seas, Navigator, Freedom, and Oasis of the Seas, have all gotten this upgrade, but I'm really happy to see it, and it's still very much a home run. The big difference, if you're wondering, is now with the new Adventure Ocean, Royal Caribbean gives the kids more choices in what they want to do at the given time. My kids are always kind of picky about what they want to do depending on the day and what they're feeling like. Some days, they want to play Gaga Ball and do all the activities with the kids, and other days, they kind of just want to sit on their own, maybe read a book, do some arts and crafts, or just socialize with their friends. The new Adventure Ocean is less single-threaded and gives the kids more choice in what they want to do, and it ended up being a huge home run for them. I'm also going to add the fact that the new teen area, Social 100, is amazing, and I got to tell you, I am jealous that I am not a teenager because this looks like an amazing place. It's found on Deck 17 forward on the port side, and it features alcoves with beanbag chair seating, a giant chessboard, and even a spot for selfies. They even have their own bar and hot tub over there. How cool is that? So while my kids were too young for that, they were definitely angling for any way to get up there to check that out. And I'm sure for teens that are able to go there, it looks like a real home run. And I love that Royal Caribbean is giving more space and more thought to the kids' programming. Something else that's really small, but I appreciated it, was the new elevator design. Not the elevator itself, it's a square, don't get me wrong, but the elevator panel itself is really cool. I thought that was a nice touch, and it looks like a slot machine, basically, but it's bright, it's easy to understand, and I thought it worked really well. Another welcome change I found on Wonder of the Seas, and this is something that will spread to the rest of the fleet as well, is the Cafe Promenade coffee menu has been expanded, and now they actually offer Starbucks drinks at Cafe Promenade. So this is getting a little confusing. I'm going to try to explain this. So there's a Starbucks kiosk on Wonder of the Seas, like there is on other Oasis-class ships, and at the Starbucks kiosk, you cannot get drinks with your drink package. Those cost extra, and it is what it is, right? But at Cafe Promenade now, they're actually going to offer Starbucks branded drinks at that location, which will be included with the drink package. Now, how is that possible? Well, the Starbucks kiosk is, well, Starbucks. So it's a licensed Starbucks area, and they serve the Starbucks drinks there. That's why they're not part of the drink package. But over at Cafe Promenade, it's run through a different vendor that Royal Caribbean uses, even though it's still Starbucks. I know that's kind of weird, but it's included with your beverage packages. So if you have the Royal Refreshment package or the Deluxe beverage package, then you can get Starbucks drinks included there. That's obviously not going to be just a Wonder of the Seas thing, but I really love that. And as somebody who loves premium coffee and usually gets a drink package, I really appreciated this. And the last thing I really, really liked was the new expanded Windjammer. So the Windjammer is the epicenter of quick meals for many families. And Royal Caribbean designed the Windjammer to be the largest in the fleet here on Wonder of the Seas. You know, back in the day with the Oasis class, Royal Caribbean didn't want the Windjammer to be massive like it is usually on most other ships because they didn't want everybody going to the Windjammer at once. Their thought was if they make a big Windjammer, everyone's going to go there and have a huge crowd on a ship that can handle, 6,000 people. So the idea was let's make it small purposefully so that way people will go to other venues like Park Cafe or Solarium Bistro or what have you. Well, that's a good idea, except most people actually just want to go to the buffet and have the widest selection of food. So as a result, Royal Caribbean said, you know what? We're going to make just a big Windjammer, but we're going to design it with so much space that it won't become a log jam. And the result is a Windjammer on Wonder of the Seas that has 1,048 seats, which is 300 bigger than any other Windjammer in the fleet. I thought this is a good recognition by Royal Caribbean of what their customers want. At the end of the day, they just want to be able to go to the Windjammer and not feel like it's very limited, and it definitely delivers on that. I thought there was a good selection of food, and the amount of seating they provided there is massive, especially if you go all the way in the back. It's basically the entire section of the deck, and so it just goes on and on and on, and that means there's always a spot for you to sit with your food and be able to enjoy it. All right, so how about things I didn't like? And these are things that I think could be rethought or just simply, maybe for other ships. There is, of course, a new Oasis-class ship coming after Wonder of the Seas, Oasis 6. We don't know the name yet, but it'll be coming there. Anyway, I got 3 things that really stood out to me that I thought probably need to be rethought. Number 1, the cabin doors don't close on their own. I don't know if this is just like a new ship thing, and a year from now this won't be an issue, but on most Royal Caribbean ships, in fact, on all Royal Caribbean ships, if you leave your room and let the door close, as in let it slam close, it will close on its own. On Wonder of the Seas, it never happened that way. They would always leave a little bit open. So essentially, your room is open if you didn't actually pull it closed. And that'd be a minor issue, obviously, but I don't think anybody wants anybody possibly going into their room if they're not supposed to go there. In fact, one time I wasn't really paying attention to the room numbers and I accidentally went in the wrong room because the door was open a little bit. Again, this could be a WD-40 situation, but for whatever reason, they decided to change it up with the doors there and it just never quite closed if you let it slam shut, which I think most people end up doing. Something that I would not say I didn't like, I didn't love it either, it's in this neutral position, is the bathroom doors are magnetically sealed. So instead of having that ka-chunk, like where it basically slams closed, they use magnets, so that way the door can more easily be opened or closed. I didn't love it, I didn't hate it, it was just something different, but I'll just put that out there that in general, the doors are a little bit different on Wonder of the Seas. Not a big deal, just something to note here. I think my biggest disappointment, though, was the Playscape. The Wonder Playscape is a new area on Wonder of the Seas, and essentially it's a kids' play area that has climbing structures, slides, and a lookout of the wake. Sounds like a great idea, and I thought my kids would really love it, but it was definitely, number 1, very juvenile. Number 2, most of it is just the mini golf area, so it wasn't nearly as expansive as I thought it would be, and it really just reminded me of a McDonald's play pit rather than this innovative, cool area for kids. In fact, Royal Caribbean says it's for kids 12 and under. I think if your kid's like more than 6 years old, they're going to find it pretty dull pretty quickly. I like that Royal Caribbean is trying to give more space to kids, so I appreciate the idea. I just thought it kind of fell a little bit flat because there's just nothing really for older kids to do other than run through it a couple times and be like, hey, we did it. Okay, cool. We're done with it. I would have appreciated if there was more for kids of all ages, in the same way that if you go to a playground on land, usually you have different experiences that appeal to older kids or younger kids. Again, you don't need to have teenagers there, but I was expecting a little bit more, and I thought that the idea sounded better than the actual execution, so hopefully we'll get a better Playscape maybe on Oasis 6. And the last thing I didn't love about Wonder of the Seas is something my wife pointed out, which is that there is no Broadway show. I'm actually okay with there being no Broadway show. I mean, I certainly would prefer one, but it wasn't a big deal to me. But my wife pointed out that not having a full Broadway show really felt like something was missing with Wonder of the Seas. Now, to give credit where credit is due, the shows on Wonder, whether it is 365, Intense, or Voices, were all really, really good, and we enjoyed it. And Royal Caribbean is going to be adding effectors too sometime later this year to the ship, which is great. That's all wonderful stuff. But there's a Broadway show and there's everything else. And when you go on ships like Symphony and Harmony and Allure and Oasis and they have full Broadway shows, it feels like something's missing with Wonder of the Seas. Now, could that change in the future? Perhaps. Of course, we are in a situation where Royal Caribbean is coming out of the pandemic and they've got billion-dollar losses. So finances aren't exactly the same, and perhaps that factored into their decision-making. They won't admit so, but who knows? We'll never know the true answer to that one. But if you've been on other Oasis-class ships or even Quantum-class ships, you may notice that discrepancy. All right, so there you have it, the things I liked and didn't like about Wonder of the Seas, and there's a lot more that I liked than what's on this list here. At the end of the day, it's a great Oasis-class ship. It's a good choice for families or anybody who's looking to try things out. And when it comes to cruise ships in general, anytime you have a brand new ship, it's really hard to go wrong because you've got the latest and greatest, and I thought it was a wonderful ship. And as I mentioned earlier in this video, Wonder of the Seas is indeed my favorite ship in the fleet now, and that's all you need to know about what I think about Wonder of the Seas. If you've been on Wonder, let me know your comments down below. If you've not been on Wonder yet, let me know what things you're most excited about, what features really stood out to you when you're reading about it. Maybe you watched our YouTube video where you have a full tour of Wonder of the Seas. Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on your notifications. It really helps us out if you do those things. Thank you for watching. This has been Matt from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, and we'll talk again real soon.